Hey guys, it's Chelsea with She Shed and Clover again. I thought I would share what I'm doing with my feed sacks because it's taken me forever to figure out what I want to do. I have tried making tote bags with my feed sacks and people didn't want them. So I don't want to create something that there's not a need for or a desire for. I want to create something that is likable, that people want. So this is something that I've wanted. I've wanted to put a banner up or just some flags up in my chicken yard to give it a little more color. So I tried first cutting up my feed sacks and washing them. I use a storage tub, fill it with water, scrub my feed sacks. So that's my chicken feed, my dog food bags, my cat food bags. Scrub all that out, let it dry, and then I picked some cans of spray paint. I went the way of spray paint cans, and these I got from Walmart because first I'd tried acrylics that I got from the dollar store, and they washed right off, just a few drops of water, and they didn't stay. So these from Walmart claim that they bond to plastic, so I sure hope it's true, and we're gonna find out, but this is as far as I've gotten on this project, and I will keep you updated on whether or not they survive the rain shower. So after I had a good 25 to 30 feed sacks, which happens pretty quickly when you're feeding chickens egg-laying feed, that 15% egg-laying feed pellets. When I had about 25 or 30 cuts of plastic from feed bags, I just laid them all out here in my driveway since it's just pebbles. And I sprayed them down with my 3 types of green, the 3 shades that I like. Let them dry overnight, and I took them in when they dried. I folded them into squares, cut them, used a literal stapler to fold them down. After I made a bunch of flags, I stapled them to twine. So for me, when I buy bales of hay, they're either 2-string or 3-string bales. But when we say string, we mean literal, this is the string that your bale comes in, right? And we know that if this is holding a 100-pound bale of hay together, it's gonna hold what you need it to hold. So I don't throw this out because if it can hold a 100-pound bale of hay together, it can hold something else that I need it to hold. So I hold on to these, I tie them up in rounds and keep them in a tote for when I need them for the next job. Another big part of this is that I am trying to minimize my waste. That's part of why I don't just send my feed sack straight to the dump. I just don't like that. I don't want to send all my stuff to the dump. I need to find a way to reduce, reuse, recycle. So anyway, this string, if it's strong enough to hold a 100-pound bale of hay, it is strong enough to hold up my tarp. So I found some white strings that I just had sitting around, and I sewed it through. And I'm gonna use these strings also and tie them around the trunks of my trees and tie it through my banner. I plan to record myself just putting up the banner throughout the trees and seeing what that looks like. That's the gist. I have no idea how this is gonna go, so it's the first time for everything. Here we go. Hey, I thought I would need to give a breakdown of how I do the folding and cutting of this feed sack. So this is a Ranch Pro 15% egg ration bag. I don't I'm not a precise human being. I don't do measurements. I don't take inches and feet, and it is nonsense to me. I just cut off the edges, and if you see, my edges are just real nasty. They're real janky. So what I'm gonna do is trim that edge off. And I was using this piece as kind of a tarp underneath when I was painting with acrylics earlier. And then I learned that acrylics weren't working. So I've done a lot of trial and error. More error than success, but just a little bit of success is all we need. Okay, so you're gonna get a little bit of confetti as you're doing this. So first you trim your edges, and then do you remember how in grade school they tell you you have a long white sheet of paper, just a regular white sheet of paper, like printer paper, right? Imagine this is a printer paper, piece of printer paper, and they say in order to make a square, you take your bottom right corner and fold it up towards your edge, your caddy corner side, right? And this gives you a right triangle, right? Right triangle, okay? And generally, if you want to make just a triangle out of your printer paper, you can cut along this line, which is what I would do, except I know that I want my flag. This is the shape of my flag. I want it to hang down, which means I need it to have something to hang down from. I'm going to add a little more space to hang from the rope. So I cut, give or take, 1.5 inches, or 1, 2, 3, 4 rows up from the end of my right triangle. And when I say rows, I mean feed bag rows, because feed bags are mesh, right? They're made of like a PVC plastic mesh, which is why we don't want them going too big. So you're not gonna have a full running yet. So I cut these up after they're painted. This is after I have laid out all of my, so I've cut these into long, we'll call them printer paper pieces. I set them out in my caliche driveway. I spray paint them with the 3 or more or less shades that I like. I let them sit out to dry overnight. Hopefully the wind does not carry them away. I can pin them down so they don't get carried away. After they've dried, I bring them in, I stack them up, bring them in, and then I start measuring them like this to cut, like so. This guy, okay. You need about 2 of these. It's not straight, and that's fine. You need about 2 of these to make the long tassels that hang past your flags, if that's what you want to do. You can make short tassels. I made long tassels. So essentially, let's say this is all green. This was painted green. You fold it. My cat is she has finished her meal, and she now immediately wants out. She's very upset that I am finishing this video before I let her out. Okay, so let's say, okay, kitty, just wait a second. Give me a minute. Okay, real quick. Stapler. You should have this sticking out. And then to keep this crease, one flag, tassel, half of a tassel. Obviously not precise. Get your other tassel, staple together, and then fold over your rope. And staple, staple, staple. Gotta go. all done for now. I'll paint some more flags and put them up so we have more banners and I can have something to do with my feed bags. I think all of these only got rid of about half of the feed bags I own. I only stopped because I ran out of spray paint. So 3 cans of spray paint gave me about this many flags. Thanks for joining, guys. I'll talk to you later.